Some people have seen where God has brought you from. They don't really understand it. They don't know your story.
You don't know my story.
You don't know
The
my
things.
You don't know the things that I've come through.
You cannot imagine
Cannot imagine
pain, the trial.
the pain, the trials I've had to endure.
You don't know.
You don't know my story. You don't know the day he
I was
said.
at my lowest point.
Cannot
Cannot
imagine
imagine.
the strongholds and the walls that sever.
But God has been faithful.
God has been faithful to me.
He promised.
Promised he would never leave.
My story.
My story proves that God can use me.
Deliverance
This
is.
is my testimony.
You don't know.
My story.
It would blow your mind.
That's the key. They don't know.
My story.
Story. Say it, LaJune.
You don't know my story.
Thank you for tuning in to My Script, My Story. On this segment, we're going to be talking about how many masks do you wear? A lot of this is a part of us battling back and forth with our minds, battling with things that we've had in our past that we cover up and make it look like we're perfect, that we are all together, when technically we all live with masks. Don't you agree?
Definitely. So many things that we hide behind and people don't know because we go out and we put a smile on our face and look as though everything is okay. But deep inside, we're harboring a lot of different issues and pain.
And insecurities, yeah. Okay. As you see, we have our mask on. Because some of us live like this every day.
Every day.
Every day. And we walk around like this, and I think sometimes people believe all the masks that they wear is part of
who they are.
yeah, you
Everyday
know,
life.
and technically it's not, because when you get through with all the layers, oh, we're bruised underneath. We're like an apple where it turns brown, and then it just is yucky. It's real yucky.
Who is that person
Yeah.
under that mask?
Yeah, so I mean, I think like, what are some of the things that you can honestly think of as far as like the mask that we can just start peeling off?
That people deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I mean, there's abuse.
Yeah. And I can honestly associate myself with this one, which is a workaholic.
Ooh, that might be me too, huh?
I've been a workaholic for I don't know how long. I've never had just one job.
Yeah,
Never.
I've always worked multiple jobs.
And I think part of that had come from how much money I want to make. The greed, you know, I just can't. I was so focused on working. I was so focused on making money, and it just, I can't even, I missed a lot
You did.
working all the time, especially with my children.
Ooh.
I missed a lot. I mean, now I'm thankful to just have a 1.5 job. I got a job and a half. I don't have a whole bunch of them.
That probably rolls into a lot of people when they are workaholics. A lot of times they have to keep up with materialism,
Oh, ooh.
keeping up with everything.
I can
With a
associate
label
with
on
that
it.
too.
I want this, I gotta have that, I gotta look like this, I have to dress like that, I have to have my hair like this, my lashes like that,
Yeah.
eyebrows this, jewelry that, and you just become conform to the world. You're
Right.
materialistic. My car has to be this model. It has to be this color. My rims have to look like this. My shoes have to look like that.
Right.
There's no other way
Right.
to do it. Even to the point where now it's like I could take a knockoff Michael Kors. It's okay because it's got an M and a K on it.
Right.
Everybody knows. Don't nobody know no more. It all looks the same. But
I know, there's some good replicas out there.
woo, I've seen some.
Well, so I think where that one would come next for me would think of is self-esteem. Because we have to do so much to impress people, so people will look at us a certain way.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's where that I'm together. You know, I make good money. I drive a nice car.
Really.
You know, and I have it together.
I have it. But really deep down inside, you go home and you're miserable.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, just self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Wow.
But then when you worry about the self-esteem, then you worry about, you're living with a whole lot of insecurity.
Yes.
You're insecure about who you really are.
Yeah.
Who are you?
And we touched on that in self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of this plays or goes hand in hand and plays a part into how we live our lives as far as the self-worth and the battle back and forth with our mind. So I totally agree with that. And then, when you do think about that, and like I said, with the parenting, my parenting was off. Because like I said, I was worried about making money.
I wasn't worried about.
I wasn't worried
My
about.
kids look nice. They got the Jordans.
Yeah,
they got
cool.
everything they want. They spoiled right.
Yeah, they didn't want for anything. So it's like, okay.
But mentally and physically and emotionally, they needed a mother.
They did.
And yes, I guess working 2 jobs, going to school full time. At one point, I had 3 jobs.
Oh,
but
I
I-
you beat. I had 4.5.
You were just half.
It was always a half.
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, I was doing hair. I was a bartender. I was on so many things. I worked driving a school bus. I wasn't drinking when I was driving. And I was starting my photography. So, and the half was, I guess, at that point in time, parenting.
Oh,
That was
parenting
my
your
half.
job.
Yeah, because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So, that was my half. Man, that's so sickening.
It is. Now that we realize it and
Yeah.
recognize it and can understand it, and it's sad, our children are like 19, 20, 21, 22 years, so we're like, oh,
Right.
I missed a lot.
I did.
I missed a whole lot. And then you try to make it up in other ways by, and I think my father did this with me by buying me everything that I wanted or always giving me money to make up for not being there.
Right.
It was like a guilt, which is another one that people go through. Feeling guilty about who you are, about where you are, about what you haven't done.
I guess at that point in time, I didn't feel the guilt because I didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't feel guilty. I had everything that I wanted.
So you was good.
I was cool. I was cool. But then I guess at that particular time, me and the devil was best friends.
Ooh.
I mean, because I didn't care.
Yeah. That's where he wants you.
Yeah.
To not have any care in the world.
So now that I think about that, then that's where my self-hate come in at. So just to honestly be able to say is okay, yeah. When I look back now, I hated myself because I didn't respect myself.
Well, yeah.
And by me not respecting myself, I was doing all these things that we're talking about. I mean, it is just, how do you get past it?
God.
Yeah, but
But
I
at
mean,
that
at that
time,
time, I wasn't thinking about
just-
God.
yeah.
I was worried about
Self.
yeah, the materialistic stuff, the working, the, I just was
Doing all the,
everything under the sun.
but then you're so deep down inside and then when you're doing all these things and then you're angry, you're upset, you're bitter, And what do you do to mask all that? You begin drug abuse. It's okay to be comatose.
Right.
You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You block out the world. As long as your spirit is free,
Right.
you're laid back. You're so high. You don't know what's coming next. It's okay. Why should I? And then you start spending money and more money because you're constantly trying to feed your addiction. You're constantly dwelling in your addiction, and nothing around you is receiving anything.
Right.
None of your children, your spouse or your mate, your job starts to fall off, everything, because it becomes internal.
Right.
And then, like we said, the guilt and the pains and everything else are conformed by these addictions
Right.
that we have. Materialism, I mean, that's an addiction.
Yeah. I mean, it do. Cause, I mean, I back then was an electronics person. Well, I'm still kind of an electronics person, but I really was into electronics. So I didn't have a problem with spending $1,000 for a flat screen. But I just look at these people that go out and buy Jordans. And what I don't understand is they're spending $300 and $400 for the same shoe that he keep putting out every year.
Over and over
Like, you
again.
know, just change the color.
Well, my son was 2 when I bought those, and now they're back out again, and he's gonna buy them again. Like,
I should have saved all them gauchos that I had way back then. They might come back
out again. You know what? We're putting Goodwill out of stock. Nobody needs Goodwill anymore. It's gonna come back out again.
Yeah, so I mean, if we're saying all of this, then we look at the shame part. Shame. I can't believe that I did all of that. I am ashamed of myself that I can actually say that I can't believe I did all of that. I can't believe that I acted like that. I can't believe that, you know, all of that just played a part in my life. I couldn't, I just can't, I'm glad that I have the new me. I'm glad.
That something
I'm
came
glad.
in and
Yeah.
saved you and set you free, you know, and I talked about the drug abuse of being, you know, an abuse, but at the same time, what's the other form of it? Alcoholism.
Yeah.
People will drink their life away. Because
Yeah.
at the same time, it's consuming them. You know, it's putting them in a whole nother world. And they don't realize sometimes that they're masking their pain
Right.
and their hurt and their anger behind a bottle.
Yeah.
And it becomes a habit. And
Yeah.
just
It's it's so much. I mean, because there's so many things that kind of touch. Kind of, you know, just and when you're doing all that drinking, a lot of it leads to sexual immorality
that's another one.
because
You're not thinking clearly.
when you're when you're drunk, everybody starts to look good.
Is that really true? 'Cause
Everybody starts to look good. So I don't know. And you know, I done had my share where I dated somebody that I not dated, but in a club drinking. Oh, you look like Genuine. When I sobered up, you look like Flavor Flav.
You didn't say it right.
Ooh, he was Flavor Flav. He looked like an old boot.
Oh, ouch.
like-
What was you drinking up?
I don't know.
Put that down. Don't pick that up.
Yeah, so I mean,
don't pick that up.
but it was funny because a lot of that stuff caused me not to drink no more. It caused me not to drink. It just, you know,
Because you're like, wait a minute.
no.
But then you start to regret back again. I mean, how we intertwine
Yeah.
these emotions that we hide behind. Because they all go into one another, you know?
Right.
All of it just coincides together. And then you start to, you deal with pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it just gets painful. And
Yeah.
you're hurting all the time.
Yeah.
And you're wondering why it's all so painful for you. And why it's all just it hurts. And why it just, you can't get past it. And I'm going to be painfully wondering why I can't get this mask.
It's underneath.
I must be in a lot of pain.
Oh yeah, you are. Just look, just leave that mask there.
It's still hanging on there. It's not going away.
Trust me, y'all don't understand the pain we're going through with these masks, man. But that's okay, because we shedding them.
Yes.
We're shedding them.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
that's a part of your growth in your Christian walk. As you get closer to God, things start to fall off.
Right.
And you start to come out and you start to sprout.
Right.
It's almost like a butterfly.
It
you know,
is.
just coming out the cocoon. Like you just kind of keep coming out.
Yeah.
And it just keeps pushing and it keeps working its way out until finally it's just,
You are beautiful,
Woo!
colorful, and
it's the new you. And people see the
Oh,
shine on
good.
your face and you
Yeah.
look bright and you look vibrant and at peace. You always keep talking about that
Yeah,
peace.
we do. We
You
do.
feel free and you feel like your wings can just fly and they just float. You ever seen a butterfly just gracefully just
Yeah.
floating through the wind and you're like, how are they making it? You know, how are they flying above? And it's like, wow.
And I think when we get to before we get to that beautiful butterfly, we lack in love.
Ooh.
We lack in love, and then we start to look for love in all the wrong places.
Right.
And that
Definitely.
goes back to self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta ultimately love yourself first
Exactly.
before you can get to that next level. You always have to start somewhere first.
First.
You know, you have to pray that God will change your mind on where you think about who you are so that you can quit telling yourself, I'm ugly. I ain't gonna be no better than what,
I'm overweight.
yeah, or, well, such and such said I ain't gonna never amount to nothing.
I've heard that.
Or, you know,
My hair looks like this. I don't have the skin color that
Right.
she or he has, or
yeah,
you know, I didn't come from money, or you
Yeah.
know, whatever. It doesn't matter, because in the end, God is here.
right,
He's looking for what's in your heart. He
right.
doesn't care what you have on.
Mhm.
You came in this world naked,
Now you gonna leave out.
naked,
Well,
and
you
you
gonna
make
have
it to
some-
the kingdom. You have a nice pure robe to put on, but until that point, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's like we spend so much time trying to worry about what we look like, what we have on, what we're wearing, and what everybody else thinks, or our kids. People
Right.
do the same thing for their children. You put your children through things when they're young, like you gotta wear these J's. So what are little 5 and 6 year olds talking about? I need the J's on, or I wear this specific color sock, or this specific
Yeah.
type of pants. Excuse me, honey. You are how old? With what job? Oh, well then if mama bought it, you wear it.
Right.
Until you get to the point where you can buy your own.
You know,
But I
all
see
these
kids.
things wrong.
You heard? I'm like, but I see this.
Yeah. I mean, it,
And then
it
we
is.
put, now the generations are continuing.
Yeah.
Because this is what we did and how we raised our children to be.
It's
And
taught.
then they grow up
It's
and do the
taught.
same thing.
It's taught. And that's where you don't have to be a product of your environment. You don't have to have
Mm-hmm.
that materialistic stuff doesn't make you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You make you who you are because of the decisions that you make, and depending on what kind of decision it is, you know, you gotta face the consequences.
Oh,
There is always a consequence to whatever action that you have.
every action
It's-
has
it's-
a consequence.
And
Whether good or
always,
bad.
yeah. You can either do something good and be blessed, or you can do something bad and be punished.
Cause and effect to every situation.
It is. So, I mean, part of me just like is that unforgiving part. The unforgiving. I can't forgive myself for all the things that I put my kids through.
Mm.
Just a lack of everything. A lack of everything. So, I'm Gary B. speechless, so you might want to go.
In the end of, like, behind the mask, we talked about people just being insecure with who they are with where they are. And insecurity comes in so many forms. It doesn't matter if it is you're insecure about your weight or your look, or you can be insecure about so many things. I'm not smart enough.
Right.
I'm not strong enough. I don't love enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. I'm not wise enough. I can't remember things, so I'm not smart enough to learn scripture. I can't remember quotes from the Bible. You know, there's so many things that people are insecure about, but it's like you're not alone.
No?
You don't fall within these categories by yourself.
Right.
You're not the only one who has been abused. You're not the only one feeling pain. You're not the only one that has guilt inside. You're not the only one that has been unforgiving to someone. You're not the only one that has low self-esteem. You're not the only one who has had bad parenting.
Right.
You're not the only one who has sexual immorality up under your belt where you can't even count the number of people
Right.
that you may have slept with, or the decisions you made when sleeping with these people, whether you were protected or unprotected. You're not alone when you've done drugs or abused drugs or alcohol. You're not alone when you become a workaholic, that you work so much you don't even know your own address anymore. You know? You sleep in the car, I'm going back in, I'm punching the clock.
I feel like on a job now.
Your body just get worn out, you're tired, you're beat.
I cracked a joke the other day. I said we all just need to put a mobile home out here and just go out in the parking lot and come back in. That's where it
Start all
feels.
over again.
Yeah.
But definitely, you can't beat yourself up about it.
And y'all know I always got a testimony. So I'm just, I'm just there to let y'all know
Your small testimony.
my small, my hand gonna be wide by the time we get through a lot of these segments. But with saying that, as a person, and like I said, everything that we do on this show is 100%. And everything that we say, we're gonna keep it real. I'm gonna let you know, like I said, by the time I get through, y'all gonna know all my business. But like I said, to the point that I don't care that you know my business, for the simple fact that my business is getting ready to help somebody.
Somebody.
It may not be you, but it might be your friend.
Yes.
So
We're not sacrificing our self-image
Yes.
and worried about, we're not degrading,
Yeah.
but we are letting it be known that we've gone through this, or
Yeah.
we are going through some things.
I'm gonna tell you, I still got a mask on right now, so let me put my mask back on.
Okay.
I wear a whole bunch of masks every day.
Every day.
Now this is a cute mask, but it's still a mask. I am by no means all together. Now there's a lot of things that I've overcome. I've overcome bitterness. I've overcome hate. I've overcome the bitterness. Did I say bitterness? I see, I'm tongue-tied. The unforgiveness. I didn't know how to forgive. A lot of pain. But the things that I am still dealing with, because I'm not perfect in this walk, I'm still being remodeled. So one of the things that I battle with really bad is depression. Depression. I battle it. Before my dad passed, and this is still a touch, my dad's been gone for almost 3 years, but my dad was my ace. I was a daddy's girl. I'm gonna take this mask out because my face is hot. But I was a daddy's girl, and I had a young lady, her sister Arnetta, that helped me through this depression, and it puts me in a dark place. It is something that I refuse to take medicine for, and I pray on it every day, but I can't get past it. I let people think that I'm okay. It's some days I cry myself to sleep because I'm looking at so many things that is going on in my life. Being alone. I said in the first segment, it's okay, but it's not okay. I can deal with being alone. I hate it. And the only reason why I chose to be alone is because I got tired of replacing a man with a man, and I didn't know who I was. So when I let go and said I'm gonna be by myself, I learned who I was as a person. I learned to start liking me, and I was like, "You really a cool person." But
Which personality was that?
that's the number one.
Okay.
Now I got 12 of them. You get to 6, just stop. She got them 2, so don't let her fool you. I'm keeping it real. But I mean, it's the truth. I mean, it's like, I hate being alone. I hate the fact that I'm single. Being single is something new for me.
Somebody is definitely going to be like, that is me too.
Yeah.
And I start having a whole lot of sexual immorality because I do anything just to be with somebody. I give my body up just to be close to somebody. You know, those late night phone calls, lonely, but I mean, somebody called me, so I'm gonna answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer the phone.
I ain't got to that point. I know it's some people that probably have been to that point, but that's
still
just,
at that point.
yeah. That in my walk, I did decide that, you know, I wouldn't do that. I have to focus on who I am. But with saying that is that as a person, I am so broken. So when I post my scriptures on Facebook, those are things that I feel help me out at that particular time. But I'm noticing it also help other people out too. So if my brokenness will allow me to help somebody else, then I will allow my brokenness to do that. I will allow my loneliness to help somebody else. I would allow the pain that I'm going through to help somebody else, because that's how big my faith is in God, because I know God will cover me. I know God will eventually take away that loneliness and send me that God-fearing man that will pray with me, pray for me, encourage me, empower me, hold me up when I'm down, you know, just as well as I'll hold him up when he's down. He's going to send me that person, so therefore I don't have to keep being alone. The depression, it comes from, you know, the part of being lonely, you know, to, I see everybody else with somebody. And it's not that I'm envious, but it's like, wow, I can't wait till God bless me with that. Until I get to that point to where I don't have to feel like that. Or the comfort, I know the emptiness will never go away with my dad, but I know that I can say something to him and he's listening. Just as well as I know I can say something to God and he's listening. But with saying all that, I'm not crying because it's hindering me. I'm crying because I can see where God is pushing me. And it's not a bad thing, because I have the faith of a mustard seed. I know my season is coming. I know that all of this shall pass. This too shall pass. Everything that I'm going through. So just understand, you never know what somebody is going through. You never know.
What mask they're wearing when you come in contact.
We thank you guys for tuning in. Although this was a very fun segment and a little emotional, we'll have to ask you to come back and view part 2 next week. Oh, but that's okay. It gets more exciting as we go. So thank you again. Tune in next week for part 2 of How Many Masks Do You Wear? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Listen,
I'm delivered.
I want you to know that.
Here's my story.
Life and favor. Thank you for bringing me out.
You don't know.
You think you know, but let me tell it. Life and favor
On me.
God, thank you for your mercy.
God of mercy.
And you love me. Life and favor.
Upon me.
Oh, how wondrous.
Oh, how wonderful.
God is my story.